My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home. Hebrew home, Hebrew home. Good morning, Hebrew home. My home, my heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home.
And good morning to Good Morning Hebrew Home for Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. I hope everybody is well. And again, I remind you each week that I'm doing this, that the appearance of the show on your television sets is going to drastically improve for residents that are watching it. David Finkelstein is here and is always here helping us, is working out a deal with the company to come on June 30th. So thereafter, we expect it to be a very clear and nice signal to watch, with more details as that comes sooner. And those who watch on YouTube should be seeing it just perfectly. We post it every day on YouTube. And I think I heard from Allison we've had 1,000 views so far on YouTube. So people are watching and we're grateful for that. As you know, each day there's a different host. Today is me, tomorrow will be Wendy Wednesday, and she has a surprise guest, which I won't ruin, but you'll have to find out tomorrow. But joined in studio, Allison, always manning the camera. Thank you for that. Catherine is here. Catherine is back. Congratulations, Catherine.
Thank you.
I don't know if you've been on the show yet as a guest, but perhaps you'll be my guest soon, and we can show some baby pictures, because there's nothing better than baby pictures. Good to have you back. Livy's here heckling as always, and just out of my sight, so I can't see that she's on her phone or doing something annoying. But anyway, welcome to all of you. We have some business to take care of, and then we have a very special guest, Laverne Murdock, and we'll talk about her and what's important to her and all that she does here at the Hebrew home as well. But why don't we start with birthdays today? Birthdays are always fun. Those of you born on Tuesday, June 16th, the day it's actually was my father-in-law's birthday, so it's a day that I know well. And if I could read this, it would be wonderful. But it looks like we have Edith D. Happy birthday to you, Edith D. Gerald R. Happy birthday to you, Gerald. And Jariki R. All happy birthdays. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 birthdays. Happy birthday to all of you. On the staff side, we have Rebecca K. Do we say the full names on? I forgot. From housekeeping. Okay. That wasn't the question I asked you, but thanks for that. We have Kasia O. from research. We have Ashley Y. from nursing. Boy, it's always nice when somebody's name's easy to say. It's like a treat. Ashley, I could say that. I don't have to look around the room. It's clean. And Janet O. from nursing. So happy birthday to all of you. Hope you have a beautiful day. It is a sunny day today. It's going to be a high of 79 degrees. No rain in the forecast for a few days, so if you can get a chance to get outside, if you're on a floor which has less restrictions, or you're part of the outdoor group where we're getting you outside, I encourage you to try and take advantage of that. I also would encourage you, if you're not aware of our visit program that we started last week, we have what's called a drive-by visit program, and if you're not aware of it, or if your families that are watching this on YouTube, you can sign up on our website, and it allows you to come and have what we consider a drive-in visit, where we put a speaker in the car and the resident, you or your family member, is behind glass. It's not ideal, it's not really what anybody wants, but it's something different and better than anything else that's out there, so it allows you to be within a few feet and look through glass. And we had babies brought last week and all kinds of signs being made, and if your family wants to drive through and wave and visit, it's a little bit upgraded from a FaceTime. FaceTimes are wonderful too, but there's just a chance to take it up a notch, so please join us for that. And sign up on the Hebron website, or just tell your resident coordinator they can contact your family, and we can make sure everybody knows about it. Lunch, and Olivia has not made a bologna today, so if you're a bologna fan, you're disappointed. If you're not a bologna fan, you can be grateful. But today's lunch is rosemary. I think I had rosemary chicken last week. Well, it's rosemary chicken this week. Rosemary chicken with white rice, a vegetable blend, and some pineapples. Funny, we talk about food, we were just having some juice. Juicing is one of my hobbies, as it is Catherine's. And I just made some fresh juice for everybody to have, some apple, pineapple, and orange juice. So hopefully you enjoy your dessert of pineapples. And if you see me in the hall and you want to try some of my juice, let me know. The alternate today will be Salisbury steak with gravy. And did I cover dessert? No, dessert is apricots. Okay, and dinner tonight, tomato rice soup. We have grilled American cheese with tomatoes, with, back to Kirby again. I didn't know what Kirby meant, but Kirby cucumber's back with a Kirby cucumber salad and Jell-O. So that covers your meals, your birthday, the weather. This date in history, Congress approved the New Deal, which is Roosevelt's big plan when the country had gone through tough times to get people back to work. And I kind of anticipate something like this in our future again. I don't want to be political, but I do think there'll be some efforts to create massive work opportunities for people around the kind of things they did in the old days of infrastructure and roads and things. So I think that's a possibility. So that happened in this day in history. I don't think I have any sports day in history today, so that'll cover that. So why don't we shift over and pan out and show you my guest, who's my friend and colleague for many years, Laverne Murdock, who knows more about media and being mic'd and being on camera than anybody in this place. And we'll get there in a minute, but I want to start first by thanking you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Like all guests on my show, you'll receive a pizza for being a guest, but
Oh, that's
we eat
awesome.
pizza together 3 times a week probably
Great.
anyhow. So.
Great, that's great.
So why don't you tell folks, because you do a lot here at the Hebrew,
Mm-hmm.
a lot that people see and a lot people don't see, but maybe you could describe for our residents who maybe see you running by or moving around, what your work is like here at the Hebrew.
Ah, that's a good question. My work is very diversified. I feel like there's a lot of teamwork here. We get a lot of support from each other. It's very hectic, it's very fast-paced. But I think what I enjoy most is the innovation that we have here. It's a lot of new projects. There's always something new, and we're at the forefront of healthcare.
And you're a big part of that. And you know, Laverne, you've been here for quite some time. I believe started in development. Yes?
Yes, well, that was when development was grants, communications,
Okay.
and fundraising. Yeah.
Because most of us have more than one life here at the Hebrew home. We start with
Yes.
somewhere, we move to 6 other places. But I know you work closely with our board around
Yes.
scheduling and communication issues. And, you know, that might not be seen to our residents, but it's very important. You know, as a not-for-profit, we have a very big group of board of directors who are very busy and accomplished, and you have to work with them around all kinds of things in terms of their responsibilities,
Absolutely.
signing things and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, the board has been very supportive, but I think this year was exceptional because we had the pandemic and we had the COVID-19. And during this ordeal, this was something like that I've never experienced. This was something that was so unexpected. We had a lot of emotions. We had a lot of intensity because it was the unknown. So dealing with the pandemic with the entire executive team and all the staff, everyone worked really well together. But I think what I really enjoyed most is watching Dan Weingold work with the board and you guys meeting with the board and updating them on everything that's going on. So besides having the whole team here, we have another outside team of 15 trustees. So we're giving them the information to keep them in the loop. We're dealing with family members. So it's just like a whole network of people all related to RiverSpring Health, or everyone working together for the same common goal.
And you know, to watch you, there's no end to your day. I mean, I see you here all hours. I see you here early all hours, making sure everything's running smoothly. What you just described would be probably 3 people's job. There's a lot going on in that.
It really is.
And the
It really
pandemic
is.
was really an unusual period of time. Still is an unusual period of time for
It
us.
still is, and they're talking about a second wave, but that's a whole nother conversation.
So, Laverne, in terms of, you know, as you looked around, and I saw you here every day, right?
Right.
You know, so
Of course.
there were some people that struggled. I never found that you struggled. I felt that you've always had a purpose. You came in, it's laudable. I've always respected it. And it didn't change
Thank
during the
you.
pandemic. You were
Thank
here
you.
every day in every way.
Well, I just feel like it's teamwork. I feel like as an individual, when you come to a healthcare facility, you really have to have a passion, not only for the residents, but for your colleagues as well. So I knew, just like 9/11 or Hurricane Sandy or whatever catastrophe that we was dealing with, that it was like all hands on deck. So dealing with it, I was trying to breathe, I was trying to work out, I was trying to gauge your emotions, Dan's emotions, what you guys were experiencing, and giving you guys hopefully the support that you need. it was also just pitching in on the floors and helping out with the nurses and seeing what their day-to-day routine was like and just helping out the residents. And it was like even the smallest task, like cutting up a resident's steak or putting salad dressing on their salad, it just made a world of difference to them. So doing things like that, it gave me as an employee gratification to just know that the nursing staff had that extra hand and that we were contributing when we were short-staffed with the nursing. So I just think that your expertise in having morning management meetings and getting everyone involved from all the different departments, it made a world of difference because it gave us all the opportunity to see what the nursing staff had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And when they were short-staffed, everyone was able to pitch in. And we went from that pandemic to the situation with George Floyd. So now we're dealing with another pandemic, and you know, I'm just trying to be supportive to staff here because I see that people are going through, we're going through emotions and still are, but you just try to be supportive as a colleague. It can be draining because you're here to do a job, but at the same time, you still want to be supportive to people you work with, people you're going to see every day. And you want to retain these employees as well. So at the same time, you're trying to do your job, but you're trying to make everyone else happy as well.
Well, the one thing I think you have a gift in, amongst others, is calmness. I felt you brought calm. What needed to get done, got done. You were very involved in the staff appreciation things that we did for our staff.
Yes.
Very important, as you mentioned, they were working very hard, whether we were on the floors helping them or finding ways to thank them with gifts and things. You brought this just essential calmness everywhere you were to create order and purpose and sanity, and those are very important in times like that. You know, some people, and we learn a lot about each other when we get into crisis. How are people going to react? Some people got really nervous, and it's okay, it's understandable. And some people get extra calm because they need to, and it just sort of balances out, and I thought you did a really good job. Let's talk about the responsibilities as people, because we're people too, we're not just
Right.
employees.
Of course.
And we have things like the George Floyd thing that went on, and you were involved here in helping to organize some of that. Could you talk a little bit about that?
It's really hard. I was thinking about that. I'm not sure if he's going to bring that up.
Well, just a taste of.
I feel like there's no words to really deeply explain how I feel and how my family feel. And I can't imagine what a lot of people here are going through and what they're feeling because I was able to talk to some people. And even dealing with the George Floyd problem, some people can't even speak about it. And the only thing I can really say to them is that I understand, I get it. But what I try to communicate to them is to use that negative energy to try to get involved in some type of organization. It's not enough to get angry. I think the looting is absolutely ridiculous. But I do think that people have a right to be angry, people have a right to hurt, people have a right to want to retaliate. That's their own choice. But what I would like to suggest to them is to read, learn more about your culture, learn more about where you really came from, get involved in some type of faith if you don't believe in whatever God, if you know, we're dealing with a different generation where people have different beliefs, but try to learn more about your culture, get involved in some of these organizations, whether it's Black Lives Matter or there's tons of other organizations, but find a way to channel your energy to do something positive. Either join in the fight and the cause for equal justice, or try not to sit back and complain about it. Some people, they want to complain, but you have to have more than a voice. You have to be proactive. You have to vote. You have to fill out your census. And we need to start nominating people who's going to fight for reform. You know, we're voting people in because they stand up there with whatever ethnicity they choose to stand. You know, like some people say, let's say, for example, this guy who says, let's make America great again, I'm not saying any names, but if he stand up there with a few Black or Afro-American or whatever race we tend to call ourselves. But if he's standing up there with someone behind him, doesn't mean that you need to be supportive if you're not seeing change. We really need to think about who we're putting in office, because we're getting so many politicians in office that they really don't care about reform. And I think we need to hold some of these politicians accountable if they have a platform and they're not fulfilling their platform.
It's going to be interesting to see if this takes hold in the way it should. These conversations we're having, we probably could have had 20 and 30 years ago, right? Things have not moved to the degree and the speed and the need, and I mean, I'm the last one to start to pontificate, but I think these kinds of things are long overdue. What's interesting to me about it, Laverne, is you're very thoughtful, and I think what you say is very important. And what's interesting is how you found a way to say it here. You have a job, but you got involved here in ways. We had a service, and I think, we're people. We're working
Absolutely.
together, and I think to deny that we have these things going on around us, and I know Dan feels very strongly about this as well, we don't want to pretend like the world isn't going on outside this campus. Our primary focus is to take care of our residents and honor our families, but we're human beings, and these things are going on, and they impact us.
They do impact us. It's been going on, this problem has been going on for so many years, over 400 years. And it's a shame that May 25th, 2020 will mark a date in our history that I'll never forget. But more importantly, we go on our day-to-day life and our day-to-day routines. But it's certainly a wake-up call for me. It's not like I know that this racial injustice hasn't stopped, but this is just an awakening for all the future generations to know that it still exists and that we need to be proactive in doing something about it. I'm glad to see that, we have some celebrities stepping up who's able to throw in $100 million or $200 billion for the cause, but we need a lot more people who's able to make a difference, who have a voice to start researching some of these crimes and getting involved and holding these people accountable for the crimes they're committing.
You gave me a quote to read at the service from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and obviously these are not issues of 20 and 30 years old, as you pointed out. This is going on for hundreds of years. But my point, again, in this country, it was a focus for a moment of time, and then it just fades. And something else happens, and then something else happens, and it comes back. And my hope is that this time, this date marked in history is really a turning point. It can't undo 400 years, 300 years, but it can be a change moment. It can be something which gains traction, and political leaders and people can be accountable. But again, my point was just that the way you found a way to bring it into work in an appropriate manner, it gives staff an appropriate way to react, because we spend a lot of time here. We're together a lot. It's just, you can't be here for that long a day and work with people and not be sensitive to the issues that are going on around us. We certainly share the pandemic, but not everybody's experience has felt these issues the way others have. So anyway, I want to shift in my final minutes with you to talk about my favorite hobby of yours, which wasn't a hobby. It was a career.
Yes.
And I have fun with it, and probably you want to smack me sometimes when I keep bringing it up. But you are an actress.
Yes.
And you have appeared in film and elsewhere. And maybe I thought you could share that part of your life, because I enjoy it. I don't know how you look back on it in terms of so much going on around.
Right. That was definitely the most fascinating moment in my life, being an actress. As you know, I was in New Jack City, prom queen. And
you have to see it. If your family's rent and watch it, she's great.
That was definitely a pivotal moment in my life, being an actress. I enjoyed it. I'll always enjoy it. If someone knocked one day and said, hey, come on, I'll be like, okay, bye, leave room. But I enjoyed it. I did tons of theater, other principal roles and guest spots, and Cosby Show. And
can you talk about some of the people you worked with? Because even on New Jack City, that's a pretty accomplished cast.
Right, I worked with Mario Van Peebles and Chris Rock before he became famous. I think New Jack City kind of put him on the map. And Wesley Snipes.
These are all A-list.
And obviously Bill Cosby, Maya Angelou, so many people.
Now, a tough business, right, to get work, right, even for talented, capable people. So I guess you came here to have full-time work while you were still pursuing that, and the Hebrew home kind of clawed you away from.
Yeah, that's true. I came here actually as a temp about 20 years ago, and I was kind of transitioning and just working. I was living on my own, and I said, I'll take this job for a little while, and the rest is history. I kind of, I was still acting at the time, but once I began a full-time job, it kind of sucked me in. I was still doing theater periodically, but I think I was at a transition in my life where I said, you know what, I need benefits, and
Small
I wasn't
details.
sure, small detail. And then I was trying to, at the time my boss was Helene Grossman, and she reported to Dan, and I was at the transition of saying, either I'm gonna leave this job or I'm gonna become permanent, because they just wanted me to stay here. Wonder why. And
It's like the Hotel California, you
yeah,
never get out.
you never get out. And then I almost got hit by a car right on 261st and Riverdale Avenue. And I was asking God to give me a sign, because I really have to make a choice. I have to make a choice. And I almost got hit by a car, and that was my sign that if I got smacked by that car, I wouldn't have had any benefits. So I said, I'm just going to take the job for a year or two. Just a year or two. That's it. That's it. And
We didn't
rest
start
is-
the clock yet, it's still
and the
ticking.
rest is history. And then years later, I met my husband, who was also a temp. Met
Not a
him
bad
right
thing to
there
have happen at the
Hebrew
Hebrew home, right?
I never thought that would happen at the Hebrew home.
And Jamal is a wonderful man.
Yes, he's great. He's great. I'll keep him. I had just stopped dating, so I wasn't looking to meet anyone. But when you don't look, that's when you find someone, obviously. And the rest is history. Is 20-something years later. I don't think I have any regrets about that. I still love acting, but I think sometimes God points us in a direction, and sometimes it's just meant for me to be an actress, or maybe it wasn't meant for me to be an actress. But I'm still in touch with people in the business, and they ask my opinions, or they say, come to my workshop, and they go, you still got it, so still got it. And
Well, I'm
that's-
thankful you got pointed in this direction, because selfishly, I can tell you make a huge difference in partnering and helping me with everything I do, and I'm always very grateful for that.
thank you. Thank you, David.
There have been many moments where you've gone well beyond the boundaries to make sure that something for me works out, whether it's a kid event or whatever it is, but I'm always very grateful for it. And grateful for your spirit and your calmness that you bring and your professionalism to make this place run the way it does, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So that will conclude today's show. Again, I want to thank Allison for running the camera, Catherine for standing in. Lisa, who do you have on for your guest this week? You're Friday, right?
On Thursday,
Thursday, who do you have Thursday?
Emily O'Leary.
Emily O'Leary. Doesn't have to walk far for that. David, thank you for your work as well. And I hope everybody has a great day. Get outside, get some fresh air. I didn't mention Olivia. I just try not to often. But Olivia, thanks, I guess, for being here and running the board. I wish everybody a wonderful day, and I'll be back sooner than you know. Enjoy your day.
Hebrew home, good morning, Hebrew home. My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the